Let's look over the explicit exponential model. What we have is p sub n equals p sub 0 times 1 plus r all to the n power. Now the r is the rate, the exponential growth rate. N is the term that you're looking at. Which term? P sub 0 stands for the first term, and p sub n is the value of the general term. So as an example, we have p sub n equals negative 2, parenthesis 1 plus 0.03 to the n. To find the first term, p sub 0, it appears to be just right there ready for us, p sub 0. But it's also a good idea to double check. P sub 0 you get by plugging in 0 for n. And this would give us negative 2 times anything to the 0, except for 0, is 1. And so we can see negative 2 times 1 is in fact negative 2. That's the first term. All right, nice. Now, also, the r value, if it's written 1 plus, that's r right there. We can see it visually. So the r is 0.03. Now, in a story problem, that might be expressed as 3%, but the r value itself in the formula will always be a decimal form. Okay. The next example, we have 1.27 to the n. What we don't see is the number out in front, or the r, explicitly. So this would be a really good idea to actually plug in 0 to make sure that you get the correct 0 the first term. Any 1.27 included, anything to the 0 is 1, except for 0 to the 0. So here we get 1 as the first term. We're just plugging in 0, since that's what they asked for, in for n. If they want to know what p sub 1 is, you'd plug in 1. P sub 2, you'd plug in 2. The nice thing about the explicit models is you could just directly plug numbers in and find out the value that you're looking for. Now, the r value isn't as obvious. If I look at the 1.27 and I want to express that as 1 plus some number, the easiest thing to do, if it is just 1 plus, you can see maybe it's 0.27, but let me pull up a calculator. I have to make this a little bit smaller, sorry about that. So this 1.27 is 1 plus r. They've already added the 1 to it. So what we have to do is subtract the 1. And there we have 0.27. So we have 0.27 as the growth rate for example 2. So this is good. We can subtract 1 to go from the explicit model to the growth rate. This will be nice for the next problem. In fact, let's do it now. If we take the 0.91 that's in it's the base of the explicit growth model, and we subtract 1, this will give us negative 0.09. That's in fact the r value. This is a negative growth rate. This would give us decay. Now for the p sub 0, again, we can see this one visually. It's right there. But you can also plug in 0 and evaluate it. We get 34. Now, before you pause the video and do the last ones, I want to demonstrate that if you're given information For example, if we had negative 0.32 for the rate, we've seen that you can subtract 1 to go from the formula to the rate. You can add 1 to go from the rate to the formula. And now negative 0.32 plus 1, that would be 0.68. So our formula would have a 0.68 to the n if we had a negative 0.32. So you subtract 1 to go from the formula, the base of the exponential model, to the rate, and you add 1 to go from the rate to the base of the exponential model. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and do these last two examples and see what you get. What you should get is the first term is negative 5, and 0.15 is the rate. The p sub 0 for the next one is 6, and negative 0.6 is the rate. All right, I hope this helps.